So, as we approach the end of 2022 and glimpse the brow of the hill that will take us into the crucial 2023 presidential election, who's got what it takes to move this country and its people forward? Well, there's been a strong narrative line coming from the New Nigeria People's Party, or NNPP, and it's coming from the party's presidential candidate, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. And it is that this country has taken a really bad turn, that the people have been pushed backward, and that the current government, with a few months to go, is running out of ideas and policies. All that might well be true, depending on who you ask. But it is also true that there are a barrage of presidential candidates offering solutions to voters and launching major campaign offensives with the ambition of seizing the keys to Aso Rock. So what gives the NNPP the confidence that the political edge is on its side and that it'll be rewarded with enough votes to win the 2023 election? Well, for answers to that question, I'm joined now on the line from Lagos by the vice presidential candidate of the New Nigeria People's Party, or NNPP, Bishop Isaac Idahosa. Bishop Idahosa, thank you very much indeed for joining us. First of all, a word about your work balance. I mean, you are a bishop who runs a ministry, but you're also a gospel singer and an engineer, and of course a politician who is a vice presidential candidate of one of the four parties that are seen as front runners in the upcoming election. How do you fit all that together?
Well, that's what we call grace, and that's what we call competence. A great man is able to do many things correctly, perfectly, at once without distractions. Ability to share your time adequately to ensuring that input is given, ability to make what we call equilibrium. If I say it's easy, then I must be joking. But then you see what you have passion for. Passion drives vision. And with the passion I have got to ensuring that we live a better life in Nigeria and the citizens are able to experience the impact of good governance. And you see, I have no doubts on my mind to do the best I could in my own little way to ensuring that we have a better country. And the church circle, the grace of God has always been there. I have been pastoring for 33 years, counting, been able to raise a strong structure, strong leadership. We'll be able to mentor people to do, if not exactly, almost exactly. Paul said the other time to Timothy, that which I have committed unto you, the same commit to faithful men who will be able to commit to others. So we've just seen distribution of labor, and it's working.
Well, thank you for that. And I do have to tell our listeners there's a slight buzzing noise. I mean, we can hear you, but there's a slight buzzing noise on the line, which, whilst we're talking, hopefully they'll fiddle with a few knobs and get rid of it. Welcome back to Arise Prime Time. I'm Charles Anyegolu, and thank you very much indeed for staying with us. We were talking to the vice presidential candidate of the New Nigeria People's Party, or NNPP, Bishop Isaac Idahosa. Bishop, thank you very much indeed for staying with us, and I apologize to our viewers there because we had a problem with sound, which I hope desperately that has now been corrected. But we were talking a little bit about the fact that you're able to combine your evangelism, being the presiding bishop of a very active ministry, as well as a gospel singer and a mechanical engineer, with what you're doing with politics now as a vice presidential candidate of the NNPP. But we never actually see you on the campaign hustings. What's going on there? Because we just see, we see Rabiu Kwankwaso, but we don't see you.
It's division of labor. We've been doing a lot of consultations. You know, I'm a striker. I only go where he's asked me to go to. And we are so organized in the form that I've been going to places, making a lot of consultations. And very soon you begin to see me much more as the campaign intensifies, like you're about to see in the short coming days ahead. I was in Edo State and the South the other time to make consultations, and things are looking up. Things are looking up. Whatever you saw or you're seeing is by design. And in a short while, you'll begin to see me limelight campaigning with my principal.
And of course, as a bishop running a ministry, I expect you do a lot of charity work, which would bring you close to the poverty and destitution that many Nigerians are living through at the moment. What's it like coming face to face with that frequently and having to take responsibility for looking after so many of them?
Then I'm sure you don't know me too well. If you check my antecedents, even during the COVID, I was given an award for one of the best pastors giving palliatives to people. Check my records very well. We take care of widows, we pay scholarship. My Idahosa Foundation does do that. And even this Christmas, if you go to my page, you will see where we are giving back this very Sunday, giving back to those who really, really don't have. That's what endeared me to my principal. His heart, his human side of affecting the needy and the less privileged. And exactly that is what I do, and I'm going to do it even this Sunday, reaching out to those who really need to have the touch of help, helping them up to stand
very
on
well,
their feet.
Bishop. I don't think you quite heard what I said. I wasn't questioning the fact that you do. I was saying that I expect that you do a lot of charity work in your job. So what I was
That's right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so I wasn't doubting
right.
the fact that you do charity work. I was actually saying that I expect that you do a lot
Thank
of
you
it.
so much, Charles.
And I was trying to say that given that you must...
Now, any pastor who is so much blessed by God that is not reaching out, something is wrong. Jesus was a savior to the masses, the less privileged. We are blessed to be a blessing, and you can only reach out to prove the love of God for humanity. And of course, you do know any little help counts and takes one distance from where he is. So that is it. At the point, you saw how Jesus, permit me to really emphasize on that, saw multitudes following him, thronging at him, and compassion would always produce miracle. And he said, where will we find bread? And of course, you do know anytime he asks you a question, be suspicious because he does know the answer. Adam, where art thou? He knew where Adam was. Who will I send? Who will go for me? He does know people will go. In like manner, Jesus said, where shall we find bread? They didn't place the demand, but he saw the need, and he caught the privilege of the season and got the bread. Anytime you saw miracle, it was an act of Jesus' compassionate, kind heart. So we are to duplicate the goodness of God, the kindness of God, and that is what we are bringing to bear. The God factor is a major factor. When we fear God and bring God into governance, you'll find that a lot of the problems would have been solved. So we do that a lot, Charles, and I'm glad I'm doing that.
Well, you rather answered the next question I was going to ask you, which is whether to some extent your interest in politics is driven by that, by what you talked about and by that contact with people who are living in destitution in Nigeria, and whether you see yourself as an agent of transformation to protect that flock. But you've kind of answered it. So let me ask you this. Here you are a bishop. How do you see the dimensions of religion and ethnicity in this race? How important are they?
Well, beyond religion, competence speaks. Beyond religion, purposeful, driven vision speaks. We must get, now today, religion is one of the primary factors. Where you are from is another factor. Why? Because trust has been abused. We have been living in serious division. Nobody wants to trust this nor that because of certain factors and indices we find in governance and government. You see, the federal character has not been observed. That's, you see, what we call nepotism. So people's trust have been abused, and there are no people to raise their voices to call leadership to accountability. There are no transparency, because once there is justice, equity, and fairness, inclusiveness, religion, ethnicity will become thing of the past. But for now, we've not gotten there yet, and I believe we are going to get there anytime soon.
So, Bishop Idahosa, how is it all looking, this election, from the point of view of your party, the NNPP, and your presidential candidate, Rabiu Kwankwaso, and yourself? Because the polls and all the surveys, both domestic and international, don't seem to be consolidating around the NNPP.
Thank you so much for that observation. It's a party that had been for 21 years until my principal, Dr. Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, stepped in 8-9 months ago and rejigged it and brought life much more into it. And within the shortest possible time, nook and cranny of this country began to feel the impact of NNPP. Notwithstanding, we have so much to do in the shortest time. The structures are there, and like I did say before, those who really undermine us are, that's their own peril. We are in it to win it. We are galvanizing. We are motivating. And the factors surrounding us suggest to us that other parties must have failed. And needing somebody who has been tested, proven, worthy of people believing in that is able to do what he has said based on antecedents. I have a mentor. I have a principal in the person of Dr. Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, who had been 2 times governor of Kano State. And if you look at the files or verify, and I know Charles, so much so enough to knowing what he did in Kano, the infrastructural development, human capital development, how he mobbed out the Almajiris on the streets, how he invested in education, how he was a very, very good manager of funds. He met with so much debts and ensured that the debts were cancelled, everything were paid for and paid off, and everything he did, he didn't have to have any loan from anywhere to be able to carry out those things he did. Schools. And now he's bringing it to a larger perspective. We have this drive, this quest to bring honesty, courage. It's not enough to have laws and having no courage, the political will. My principal has the will from the day one to ensure that adherence to the rule of law is observed, transparency, probity, and accountability will drive the system. And hence, leadership is everything. And you see, when you begin to see a leader lives up to his words, then the subjects have no choice but to live up to their words too.
Well, at the risk of making you repeat yourself, I'm still curious to know what the guiding lodestar of the NNPP right now is as these elections draw near. I mean, what is its inspiration and its point of reference? Because as I said, a lot of the surveys and the polls, a lot of people don't actually see you as one of the front contenders. I mean, they count the Labour Party, the APC and the PDP, and then if they stretch it a bit further, the NNPP gets in there.
That's why I say it's very good for people to undermine us. Whoever is doing that is to his own peril. Before now, nobody would even mention NNPP as any frontliner. I've been to several summits, and NNPP counts right now. Now, the issue is people want to use their own tape rule to measure our success. That's not what we do. We are grassrooted. We have expanded. When the campaigning starts, we're not talking about people paying to have crowds wherever. When the chiefs are down, they will understand that they have. You see, today you can say it's not possible. Tomorrow you will wish us congratulations. And that's what I would always want. When the campaigning starts properly with us, they will begin to change their minds. And they've already started changing their minds. When they have polls, it depends on who is doing the polls. But the campaigning and the voting electorate are the determining factor, not the polls that 1 or 2 or 10 or 5 will just sum up together and be sponsored, as it were, allegedly, by a few folks who want to determine the fate or to influence other people. That's not how we roll. We roll by going grassroots level and ensuring that we are dealing with people with their voters card, PVC, and then when time comes for voting, it will be clear to all and sundry that NNPP is in it to win it.
Get away from asking whether or not your party is a bankable party or just a dark horse shadowing everyone else, because I mean your answer would be fairly predictable in that sense. But I'm sure you've seen a lot of the acerbic rhetoric that's swirling around the other 3 front-runner parties, the APC, the PDP and Labour, a lot of it aimed at each other as things get more heated and the political climate more polarized. How has the NNPP managed to avoid all that? Or is it just bewildered by it all and it's all sort of out of your league?
The truth is that we don't do a small campaign. We deal on issues and issues alone. We don't want to meddle issues. You see, we are Nigerians, and after politics, we'll still be Nigerians. It's not a do-or-die affair. We have been designed to ensuring that we speak to the truth, we speak issues, and that will be it. Now, it doesn't matter the machineries they've got for propaganda. Time shall tell, Charles. We just got 2 months plus more for all this. You are going to call me back after a while to congratulate us for the victory attained. Let me tell you, those who fought change became history. We are coming with that desired change Nigeria needs to ensuring that lives are improved, to give freedom to the people, to give peace to the people and to the nation, and to give prosperity to the people. That is our target, and we'll get it done, notwithstanding what you are hearing, what they are hearing, what the news is carrying. The voters, the electorates are the determining factor, not what people are seeing today.
Well, I certainly agree with you that ultimately the electorate will decide who will win. The question is whether it is your party or another party. I mean, do you see that election ending indecisively? Do you see it as 2023 as being uncharted waters in terms of who is likely to win the election? Is it looking a bit murky and unclear? Do you think there'll be an outright winner?
Clarity is power. Now, until now, we were not in the system. Nobody counts us worthy to even be called a party to be reckoned with. Now they are saying 4-horse race. I used to hear you even say 3-horse race until not too long ago. Now we are coming into the system strongly so. Now, by January and January ending, there will be a clear determinant. That is to say, it will be so clear. Right now, even INEC is saying there might be a likely runoff. That is by reason of what they have seen. But January comes here closely, and where they will know there might not even be a runoff, we are going to win outrightly. Now, take my word for it, and call me back again after some few weeks after the elections.
Well, I shall certainly be happy to do that, but we've got about 2 minutes or so left, and I apologize again that we had to take a break because we had technical issues, but fortunately we were able to fix that. But in those 2 minutes, just make your pitch to the Nigerian people. Tell them why they should vote for you and for your principal, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, and for your party, the NNPP.
Now, NNPP stands for a new Nigeria, except you are not fed up with what you're going through today, except the Nigeria of your dream is what you are seeing today, except your children going to school without hazard and hassle and burden and pain of school fees. But we are coming to saying that school fees, NACO, JAMB, WAEC will all be for free. You don't have to buy forms to get any employment. The forms are for free. So many factors. Our education that is running comatose will be fixed. He's done that before. He is called Mr. Education. Dr. Rabi Musa Kwankwaso have been proven Mr. Education. He has sent so many, thousands abroad, notwithstanding whether they are indigenous or residents in Kano when he was Kano State Governor, and today they have come back to become useful to themselves, to their environment. He has been the Minister of Defense before, and remember during those times we had lesser problems to tackle because of the wisdom deployed by the Minister of Defense. He was a senator. He was a House of Rep member, and not just a Speaker of the House of Representatives, a man full of so much experience that Nigeria requires, a trustworthy man, a man that keeps his word, a man that is sincere and transparent, a man that is accountable, a man that is accessible, man of the people, man of the mercies. This is the type of person I'm talking about. Now, don't take my word for it. Go find out, verify, to knowing that Dr. Rabi Musa Kwankwaso means well. Any other person comes and says what they want to say. But what you look out for are those who are sincere, who are courageous, who are transparent, who are accountable, who are loving, who care for the mercies. Those who are able to stop capital theft, those who are able to stop brain drain based on what kind of policies that be promulgated, and then things begin to work like it should be working in Nigeria. Right. Nigeria is going to experience so much in infrastructure. It's going to experience, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I think you've made the point. You've eaten up your 2 minutes, I'm afraid. So I want to thank you very much indeed. But you made the point. You made the point very well indeed, and I hope we'll get the chance to talk with you again. Bishop Isaac Idahosa is the vice presidential candidate of the New Nigeria People's Party, and he was talking to me there from Lagos.